Hello, everybody. This is Shirley Henderson from SherWork.com, and today's episode of Sher's podcast is Shirley Henderson's Proposal of Marriage Reform Part 2. This is going to be a long segment of episodes for this podcast, you guys, because I've been working for almost 4 years on how to solve the divorce rate. The high divorce rate, because out of 50% of people who get married get divorced. That's a lot. Over 100% is like half. 100% people get married, and 50% of those people will get a divorce, and it's just not changing. It is not changing. I think everything started from the Industrial Revolution, because remember, in the past, the first job for females was to be mothers and take care of the home. And then when the Industrial Revolution, the men went to war, and the females had to go and take those jobs at the factories. And then, things began to change on the household situation. Still, the woman is going to work, but still their payment is lower. That's another topic, but it needs to be addressed too. I think that to solve the entire global problems, if we focus on solving the marriage institution, it will be a good start. So this proposal of marriage reform was born out of, I read this article from Ireland, that they have a law that when you want to get a divorce, you have to wait 5 years, as it is right now, but they're planning to reduce it to 2 years. So my proposal is that instead of making people wait 2 years after the fact that they got into a bad marriage and they want to get out, how about put those 2 years before they get married? The couple, they go to the court, they get the license, and they have to wait a 2-year period. In that 2-year period, the social institutions, they have to create some type of classes for like a marriage counseling before, like marriage education, parenting education, maybe getting some skills for getting better jobs, and building communities and societies that will have a future goal together as a family groups. And even the people who are in those classes, they will build those communities and will serve each other they will empower each other. And they will have, some people, they don't have families on the same cities, and they will start making, those communities that they will serve as a families. And I think that is so important that we can have into consideration, since in the research, they say that people who got divorced is because they don't have commitment. They're not committed to the relationship, they're not committed to the children, they're not committed to the marriage, they're not committed to their future. And I think that when you invest in a person, not just saying just money, because money comes and goes, but when you invest your time that is so precious and you will not get it back, I think you give that person a higher value. And go to my blog, SherWork.com, and you can see the entire article. And this series of podcasts will be uploaded. And you can also follow me on my social media. I am on Send, which is a decentralized social media. You can find me as Sher Henderson 21. On Twitter is Sher-Henderson. On Facebook is Shirley Henderson 21. On Instagram is Shirley.Henderson. So let's continue. I think that when we implement those time frames, but instead of putting them after the fact, like I said, we all make mistakes. People hide themselves to try to show off this person and they're not, and then just have those kids take the kids or whatever it is that they want to take, and then leave the other person behind. And we can see that there's a high rate of suicides, and many of them are related to divorce. And depression is related to divorce, many things. And as we see in social media, we see people getting so happy and getting married, and they only show those happy moments, but everybody, when they get divorced, they close down those social media so nobody can see, and it gets under the rug so nobody can see. It's a big taboo. So what I think is that every relationship beginning comes from some other relationship end, more than likely, and this needs to poverty, it's related to divorce, sickness is related to divorce, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody is having this conversation that needs to be in the open so we can really solve the global issues for real. And so what can you do? What can I do? Even if this law is not implemented, hopefully it is. And again, this is a disclaimer. This is not a legal advice. I always reach the same conclusion in every year that I come and take this topic again, and every time I come to this topic, my conclusion is that the reason why a lot of relationship fails, especially married couples, is because they do not choose wisely their mate. They go after whatever shiny object they're chasing, and then when the chemical balances return to the normal level, you realize you're stuck with a person that is not the right person for you, and it's too late. So with this 2-year frame to wait, I think everybody will benefit. I think everybody will benefit already. Like I said, in Ireland, well, I didn't say that in Ireland, it is. In Ireland, the Catholic Church is very, it prevails over there. And in the Catholic Church, you have to wait they are not allowed the premarital sex. All right, so I think that even for people in other countries that, and I know, for example, in any Catholic church that in any country, I think that you have to have a waiting period of 1 year or something like that, 9 months, from 9 months to a year, and you go to classes and they talk about parenting and family situations, and I think that's very responsible. I think that's where it goes. So if those laws will never take place, the outcome, what will be the outcome of those rules not take place ever? Well, in the millennial generation, it's the generation who is not getting married as much as other generations in the past. And you can see also the statistics are saying, okay, people are not getting as much as divorce as in years before. Yes, but they're also not getting married. And they're not choosing having children. And they're just having a relationship with the virtual reality world. And what is going to happen? Well, these people, they will not make families, and they will end up alone. So, on retirement centers for old people who are alone and they don't have a family who take care of them, I think the millennials will be the first generation on the entire humankind of having lonely years. They will have no families because, everybody's